Hello and welcome to Pan-African News 360 on GUN. This is News in 5 and I am Vuyo Mgwelo. These are your headlines. Ramaphosa expresses desire to continue relationships with Nigeria. A furious Zimbabwe doctors continue their strike. Duduzane Zuma denies the dirt against him at inquiry. Mozambique elections observer shot dead in Gaza. And lastly in sports, a Tottenham skipper Loris sidelined until 2020. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says a three-day visit from Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari not only cemented their relations between the two countries, but also proved beyond doubt that the two heads of state can tune to one accord. In his weekly letter call from the desk of the president on Monday, Ramaphosa revealed how the two countries had mended ties after the recent spate of attacks against foreign nationals in early September in South Africa. He said, and I quote, "It was an extremely successful visit where we not only cemented relations between our two countries, but found that we are one mind. President Buhari and I both firmly believe that the prosperity and stability of our two nations requires that South Africa and Nigeria have strong relations at economic, political, diplomatic, and people-to-people level. Now, this will result in much more integrated and more cohesive Africa," said Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa said the refuel partnership between them promises to bear more fruits in the future. Doctors are striking in Zimbabwe for pay increase defied a government order to resume work on Monday and asked the UN and private businesses to help find their return to the wards. The doctors are in the second month of strike over salaries which have decreased greatly to less than $100 per month in some cases as a result of an increasing inflation rate and a deteriorating economy. The doctors also claim that their pay value also gone down by more than 1,500%. In a statement, the Zimbabwe Hospital Doctors Association said they have used up their savings by subsidizing their employer for them to just report for work. Negotiations with the government have been deadlocked as the doctors rejected a 60% pay increase and demanded their salaries to be pegged to the US dollar. A sign of former President Jacob Zuma, Duduzane Zuma has denied the claims that he was ever offered money by the controversial Gupta family to sign off a lucrative mega city deal. Zuma, testifying at the Zondo Commission on Monday, revealed how he was always taken aback by how his name had constantly come up in allegations said by former inquiry witnesses. Now, the former Free State MEC Dugwana, who had appeared at the commission earlier this year, claimed Zuma had been present when he was once offered millions at the Gupta residence. Dugwana also alleged that Zuma was present when he was offered R1 million because of their partnership in mining project. However, these claims were quickly rubbished by Zuma. He said, "I don't know him. I don't recall meeting him." Zuma said that Aramazu Dugwana. So we don't know how Dugwana decides to think that he was with Zuma. He said, "I'm not sure what Dugwana is talking about. I don't agree with each and every statement or part of his statement. I don't agree that this meeting took place." He said, "It is more interesting that I'm always placed in the middle of these meetings." And Zuma also took a swing at claims leveled by former Deputy Finance Minister Jonas that he had driven Jonas to the Gupta compound where he was offered 600 million rands to take up the position of Finance Minister without his knowledge. So now he knew exactly where he was going and he's about to meet. This is what Zuma said. So why is Dugwana acting as if he didn't know where he was going? Now this is what is happening in Mozambique as Anastasio Matavele, the head of the Mozambican Poll Observer Mission, was gunned down on his way from a workshop in Shai in southern Gaza. Election-related violence monitored group Salah de la Paz said on Monday. Now according to the watch group, Matavele was murdered minutes after he had finished training a group of national observers. And All African reported that Matavele's car had been followed by the killers who blasted off 10 rounds before fleeing the scene. It looks like this was just all about a plot, but he was immediately taken to hospital where he was confirmed dead. Now, the local observers have stated that 3 assailants are known by members of riot police unit. this is all a plot, like I said. There's no way that you're going to gun down someone as we are going to the polls, or as they are going to the polls. Now, his death confirms that we are witnessing the most violent electoral campaign, said the group in a statement. The attacks were later involved in a car accident where one of them died and another taken to hospital, while the third one was arrested by police. The incident took place just 7 days before the nation takes to polls and 2 months after the completion of a historic phase treaty. Now, a rise in insurgents attacks has put campaigners and citizens on a high alert prior to the October 15th election. According to an AFP report, close to 40 people died since the start of the campaign, with dozens more injured and many others arrested now, which seems this is all a plot when it comes to campaigns. In sports, Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper Hugo Lloris has been ruled out until early next year after suffering a ligament damage on Saturday. The club revealed that the Frenchman, who was taken off the field in a stretcher with a dislocated elbow, will spend the rest of the season in recovery and rehabilitation. Medical staff had treated him on the field while he screamed in agony for 6 minutes before he was carried off and given oxygen by the medics. Hugo Lloris had undergo further assessments this morning after sustaining a dislocated elbow in our match against Brighton on Saturday. The findings show that although surgery will not be required, our club captain has suffered ligament damage and is not expected to return to training before the end of 2019. And now the Argentine keeper Paulo Gazzaniga, who had only made 5 appearances for the club, will have to assume the responsibility of #1 shot stopper in the meanwhile. It looks like this guy is going to end up looking like Kuhn, spending the best of time of his life chilling and watching his partners doing the best for his team. But for more of these stories, go to our website and communicate with us in all our social media platforms. From myself and the News in 5 team, we'll see you guys tomorrow.